Operation Albumen was the name given to British Commando raids in June 1942 on German airfields in the Axis-occupied Greek island of Crete, to prevent them from being used in support of the Afrika Korps in the Western Desert Campaign in the Second World War. These operations were carried out in tandem with similar raids against Axis airfields at Benghazi, Derna and Barce in Libya, and were among the very first planned sabotage acts in occupied Europe. Overview. During the late spring of 1942, the airfields of Crete gained increased strategic importance by becoming the main transit base for Luftwaffe to supply logistic support to Rommel's Afrika Korps in their advance on the Nile Delta. Furthermore, Luftwaffe aircraft based on Crete operated photo reconnaissance, bombing and convoy attack missions covering the southeast Mediterranean region. Aiming to disrupt these operations, British generals in Cairo sent 3 groups from the Special Boat Squadron and 1 from Sterling's Special Air Service to Crete to sabotage the airfields of Heraklion, Castelli Pediados, Timpaki and Maleme. Aircraft types operating from Crete at the time included the Ju-52 and Me-323 for transport, the Ju-88 and Ju-86 for bombing and photo reconnaissance, and the Bf-109 as a fighter. Heraklion Airfield was allocated to the Shash Group and the SBS groups were assigned to the other 3 airfields. The SBS groups were met by Tom Dumbaban, the British liaison officer with the Cretan resistance, who provided them with local guides. The date for all sabotage attacks was scheduled for the night of 7/8 June 1942. Castelli Operation. The squad detailed to attack Castelli consisted of Captain G.I.A. Duncan of the Black Watch, 2 NCOs of the SBS and the Greek gendarme Vasilis Tremondinis. The operation unfolded according to plan, and on June 7, the saboteurs, assisted by the locals Yorgos Sarakis, Kimonas Sografakis and Kostas Mavrantonakis, managed to destroy 5 aircraft, damage 29 other, and set fire to several vehicles and considerable quantities of supplies using delayed action bombs. The June 1942 operation is often referred to as the first raid on Castelli to differentiate it from a similar operation that took place a year later. One of the objectives of this second operation was to lead the Germans into believing that an Allied landing on Crete was imminent. Thus, on the night of July 4/5, 1943, 2 commando groups under the Danish Major Anders Lassen and the Greek Kimonas Sografakis simultaneously attacked the airfield of Castelli from 2 different locations. Despite the strong security, they succeeded in deceiving the garrison and destroyed most of the parked aircraft and fuel dumps. Heraklion Operation. The Heraklion operation was commanded by Georges Jellicoe and included 4 members of the Free French forces under Georges Berguet and Lieutenant Kostas Petrakis of the Hellenic Army. The group was transferred to Crete on board the Greek submarine Triton, and rowed ashore in 3 inflatable boats. They had intended to land at Carteros Beach, but came ashore in the Gulf of Milia on the dawn of June 10 and behind schedule. Due to landing at the wrong location, the men had to march overland to reach Heraklion Airfield. They spent the days hiding, and marched throughout the night, finally arriving during the night 12-13 June. Due to increased traffic caused by a succession of night sorties that was in progress, the team was unable to immediately mount their attack and it was postponed until the next evening. The group entered the airfield while it was being bombed by the RAF. The team was able to launch their attack, and destroyed about 20 Ju-88 retaliates using Lewis bombs, while all 6 saboteurs managed to escape from the airfield. The retreat was betrayed, resulting in 17-year-old Pierre Léostic being killed and the other 3 French being arrested. Jellicoe and Petrakis managed to escape to Egypt. Timpaki operation. The Timpaki team discovered that due to air raids from Egypt, the airfield had been temporarily abandoned and the aircraft base there had been relocated. Maleme operation. The Maleme team was made up of captains Michael Keeley and James Allett, who landed on Crete aboard the Greek submarine Papanikolaos. After a difficult march they reached Maleme but were also unsuccessful. They discovered that the airfield was strongly guarded and was recently equipped with electrified fences, making it impossible to penetrate its perimeter. Aftermath. As a result of the raids, 25 aircraft were completely destroyed, many more damaged, and 12 German soldiers killed. In reprisal for the sabotage in Heraklion, the occupation forces executed 50 inhabitants of the greater Heraklion area the next day. Prior to the attacks, on the 3rd of June, the Germans had executed another 12 Heraklion citizens. The Avenue of the 62 Martyrs in modern Heraklion is named in remembrance of the victims. On the 23rd of June, Jellicoe, Petrakis and the participants of the Castelli and Timpaki operations were evacuated to Mersa Matruh, Egypt on a kayak from Tripiti beach near the village of Krotos in South Crete. They reached Mersa Matruh shortly before it fell to Rommel's advancing forces. Jellicoe was later awarded the Distinguished Service Order. After several days of interrogations under the threat of execution, Berge, Mufat and Subyard, who were captured after the Heraklion sabotage, were transferred to the O-Flag XC war prisoner camp in Germany. Eventually, Berge ended up in Colditz Castle in Saxony, where prisoners who had repeatedly attempted to escape were held. There, Berge joined SAS Commander David Sterling, who had been captured in the meantime. To honor the memory of Pierre Léostic, Kostas Petrakis christened his son after him. The failure to prevent the raids on the airfields was one of the reasons that led to the replacement of General Alexander Andre by Bruno Brauer as commander of Crete.